got about 22 minutes left in the flight. We're descending from 9,000 down to 6,000. Going into Manassas via the Tristan 3 arrival. And 16 is the runway that's favored because winds are from 130. And so we're going to set up either for the ILS or RNAV in the 16. We've got this one cloud deck here at about 6,500 that we're going to be passing through in just a moment, and below that it's scattered. So we should have clearing skies for the rest of the way in. The temperature is of concern. It's 29 degrees is what it's indicating outside. And of course we got the PT2o2 heat on. PT2o2, what am I saying? At any rate, making preps for landing.
Envoy 3969, contact Washington Center 133.9 at 339. You have a good one.
339, have a good one, Envoy 3969.
Skyline 61, 7000. Skyline 61, Potomac approach, Richmond altimeter 2982, echoes current spec vectors, as your approach runway 2. Vectors, visual 2, roger.
this will be the second video, not the first, so that it's not too long. So this is the approach and landing into Manassas on a IFR day. We departed in IFR weather, and to see that video, just look for the first half of this, and that's to keep these from being too long. Otherwise, it would be a 50-minute hour video, and it's just not the length that I think is useful to most of us pilots and pilot enthusiasts.
Hotel, what routing do you have to 47 November?
And so we're just below the cloud layer. You can see, well, maybe you can see on camera how this looks, but we're leveling at 6,000 feet. We got about another 17 minutes to go. And for those of you that are just checking on for this part of the flight, thank you for coming along. Today is the 19th of March, just celebrated St. Patty's Day a couple of days ago. And we're doing the Monday travel into Washington, D.C. Metro. We're on the Tristan 3 arrival, heading into Manassas, and we're expecting 1-6 left. So
846 contact, coming approach 128.5 to 2852. You have a good one.
2852, 6946. Thanks for the help.
Here, 4939, center maintain 2000, clear right Kafka.
Potomac approach, twin Cessna 6, 90846, level at 6,000.
6946, Potomac approach, let me know when you have X-ray, expect the visual approach 16 left.
6946 has the information X-ray for Manassas and expect 16 left.
Yep.
So they're going to give us the visual, but I generally will set up an ILS or RNAV to any of these longer airports, larger airports, so that there's a reference as well. And it's also good just in case things go haywire. You got some reference that you're looking at. And you might as well use this equipment. You got it in here, might as well use it. Whether it's today I'm trying out the Garmin Pilot, which is a very nice, well, let me tell you this. And maybe I should just make a video on this about flight planning and use of pilot aids in flight. My preference is ForeFlight. I've used ForeFlight for the better part of 9 years now, since 2010, and it has steadily improved over the years. But even before ForeFlight, I was using flightplan.com, and FlightPlan, if you guys are familiar with FlightPlan, you need to try it. Flightplan.com, FLTPLAN.com. It is a substantial planning tool. It's used by lots of commercial operators, big and small, and it has some features that once you get past the logic of it, it's got a learning curve to it because it's different. But once you get past that, it's a substantial piece, and many pilots use only that, and it's free. Whereas ForeFlight, to get the premium ForeFlight package, is about $199 a year. The same for the Garmin Pilot. And then there's FlyQ. FlyQ is very good also. Another product that was supported by AOPA and others. I have tried it a couple times. But the two front runners for the top spot are ForeFlight, #1 for in-cockpit use. Garmin Pilot is good for flight planning and in-pilot use, especially when you have Garmin gear, because it connects quite easily with the Garmin equipment you have, whether it's the legacy Garmin or the new Garmin. So that's why it's just about on par with ForeFlight. But ForeFlight, its operating logic, ease of use, puts it ahead of Garmin Pilot in my book. Lastly, flightplan.com. I will not get away from FlightPlan just because it's just, after you have used it for a while and you're able to look at your flights, it has accurate planning once you put the numbers in, of course, and it has some models in there that are very good. It does weight and balance. It does your toll, the takeoff and landing, you can do there as well. so that you have your toll data. And while I don't fly this plane as a profession, I do try to fly professionally, which means that I...
98460, declining of 020 vectors for the modified base.
And 69846, say again?
Declining of 020, modified base 16 left.
Fly heading of 020, 69846. Okay. We're going to 020. And it's right now at sunset. The time is 7:26. So the sunset at just a little bit ago. So again, if you don't use anything else, you want something that's free, flightplan.com. Flightplan.com. It's free and just a very good source for pre-flight planning. And you can also use it in flight. And it now has a connection to our Garmin products.
Good evening, you got a helicopter coming off of Manassas, northwestbound out towards Winchester for practice instrument 1.
475 Julie Tango, roger. Expected visual approach to Williamsburg, altimeter 29860. City, do you have the weather?
So if you have a Garmin cockpit and a Garmin flight stream, 510, 110, or 210.
It could be a visual approach into Williamsburg.
And
he was looking for air work out towards Winchester?
And you don't have Garmin pilot on your...
With you on our way to Winchester for what will be on VF for instrument work at Winchester.
Air Care 1, roger. And you just want to do it on your own, or are you looking for flight following?
I'm going to do it on our own, and we will be on company squawk.
Air Care 1, roger. Transom observed on course outside the class Bravo, and I will keep you advised of anything I see out there.
All right, clear the Bravo on course, Air Care 1.
One other consideration, for flight to be the superior product for in-cockpit use, you have to have a Stratus to go with it. And not that you have to, but it's preferred to have Stratus because you get traffic and weather on your device when you have flight loaded. The same is true for Garmin Pilot. To get the most out of Garmin Pilot, you need a GDL product. Those are the portable receivers. GDL 39, 39L, 52, 52R. Any of those GDLs.
46, turn left, take a 010.
Left to 010, 6946. Those are good to use, the GDL products, because it will then work with Garmin Pilot. She's going to give me a...
Tango departs auto heading of 060 vectors for Leesburg.
She's going to give me a descent, or she should. Well, let me go back and ask her. And 6946, you still want us at 6,000?
And 846, I'm sorry, you stepped on an aircraft again?
Do you still want us at 6,000?
846, you can go ahead and descend to maintain 4, start down to 4.
846 out of 6 for 4. I think we should be at 3, but that's just me. So the top 3, for no cost, flightplan.com, number 1. And number 2 could go either way. If you got a Garmin cockpit and you have a GDL product, then the Garmin Pilot is pretty much the way to go. If you've got a split cockpit with maybe one Garmin device and the rest is Avidyne or some other navigators, In ForeFlight, we'll give you a very nice presentation.
It's 6 out, so you can descend to 6 after auto.
And we got to change the lighting on this one. It doesn't have an automatic dim as the other instruments do. Looks like we may run out of this shelf before we get to Manassas, which would be good, because it'll give us another 10 minutes of light before it gets dark. And I need some night hours anyway.
I would continue to set maintain 4,000.
Temperature warmed up a little bit. We're at 37 degrees. So we're at 24, about 4,000 feet up. Up around 8,000 feet. Yeah, the airport is right over here in the distance. And
4750 Tango, contact Potomac approach 125.8. 846 to maintain 2,600.
2,600, 69846. got ILS plugged in for 16 left. And we got the airport in sight. And as you can see, hopefully you'll see on the video that it's getting a little lighter. And let's go through our pre-landing checklist.
Turn 10 degrees to the right. Let me know when you have Manassas in sight. When I turn, it's going to be 1 and 2 o'clock. You're coming up on 9 miles.
And 846 has airport in sight.
67846, Roger. Clear for the visual approach runway 16 left at Manassas. Remain on your side at all times in Sealand. You can switch over to the tower 133.1. Have a good night.
Over to tower. Thanks for the help. 69846. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go over to tower. And tower, Twin Cessna 69846 with you.
November 69846, Manassas Tower and a right base runway 16 left.
Right base for 16 left, 69846. So we're gonna pull the power back so that we can get down a little faster. At an altitude for us is about 1,500. And we're going to do a little brake here, aerodynamic brake. Going to the turn, pull back on the yoke, coming around to 070, which is our right base. And that gets us slowed down. And now for the gear and the flaps. Pushing everything else forward. Got the airport in sight. And our ILS is identified. We got it active here. And we're just about down to 1,500, which is where we want to be. Bring back the power. And trim. Okay, we're at 120.
46, runway 16 left, cleared to land, wind 120 at 5.
Cleared to land 16 left, 69846. We're at 120, which is where we want to be. And airport's right over here. I don't know if you can see this particular gauge, which is the HSI. That one coming in. Autopilot is away, and I've got it trimmed so that you just will basically fly yourself. All these 310s are great. The controls are fairly well harmonized. Well, of course you have to get them that way, or make them that way, I should say. Now we're turning in toward our final. And put the lights out. Do our last checks here. 2 white, 2 red. And of course we can use that our glide slope here on the HSI as well. And we can bring it up over here also. Light winds, but the correction is going to be toward the left. We're landing 1.6, winds about 1.4. We're still at 120. And we're going to put out full flaps here in just a moment. 3 green. Full flaps. Coming back on the power. Oh, that was not a good landing. But at any rate.
November 846, say parking.
APP jet.
November 846, roger. Taxi the ramp via Bravo, monitor ground point 8.
Via Bravo and ground point 8, 69846. Thanks for the help. What made it not a good landing is when I flared, I didn't pull the power back far enough, so I just floated about another 800 feet down the runway. Not that that's bad today in light winds, but that's not what I was trying to do, so that's what made it bad. Something that I wasn't expecting. Okay, we're here in Manassas. Today's Monday. It's about 7 something. I have to check my touchdown time. 3 hours and 28 minutes is what the flight time actually was. I'll have to go back and look at what the projected time was. I think we're pretty close to that. And I don't see a marshaller. I guess I will go for what I know. All right, boys and girls, thank you again for flying along, and I'll see you on the next trip. Let's see what car they bring out this time. And lights, avionics, so you're not going to hear me after I turn the avionics off, so bye.